My name is Stephen Kolb, and I am the CEO of the Council of Fashion Designers of America. And I get the distinct privilege to introduce our panel that CFDA put together with Decoded Fashion. We're actually very proud and excited to be partnering with Decoded Fashion. And when we were thinking of who we should invite to talk about what they're doing with technology, it was pretty clear that the guests that we have here would be the ones that could share with you some interesting things in this area. So with no more hesitation, I would like to introduce first Deborah Lloyd from Kate Spade. Nicole Miller. Stacy Bent from Alice and Olivier. And our moderator of the panel, Lisa Lick from Donna Karan.
Hello, everyone. Whoa, it's loud, sorry. We're excited to be here today, and I think it's pretty amazing because remember when you just had to design clothes? So we're going to start off today by really examining fashion meeting technology, and I think we have an amazing panel here today of people who really have shown what it means to merge the two. So I'm going to start off with Nicole. Nicole, American fashion saw technology from across a crowded room, and it was love at first sight. Why? What do you think?
Well, because I think we always like the latest thing. I think, fashion people are junkies for like the newest, the latest, and I think technology really paralleled that. And I think from, the moment we saw the first website, we just got excited and said, hey, we've got to hang on to that.
Definitely. Stacey, what do you think?
Well, I think a lot of times in my company, we think of fashion like a fairy tale. It's about storytelling, and the internet and social media are just another way to tell that story. And technology in general lets you do it in a way that's just interactive and 3D, and that's exciting to, a brand and a customer.
And Deborah, for you, you're at Import, so what's your take on it, working for an American brand?
I have to say, it's an American industry for an American industry. I mean, Americans, you're so gregarious, you're so have so much to say. I come from maybe a more reserved background, but I've embraced it since being here. But it's really a chance to tell your story, and so you have to embrace it. America loves everything fast fashion. They love getting inside everybody's lives. So these are the perfect platforms to be able to do that.
I agree. Now, since you are designers and more of the creative space, if there was something that you could develop tomorrow, an app that doesn't exist to help your world, what would it be? Stacey, you can start.
Okay, I say this every day in my fittings, and I'm like, oh my God, if I could take a picture of that dress or that pant, and and there was an app that let you take your phone and kind of draw in your corrections, and then have the pattern, sort of instantly adjusted, that would be really incredible.
Okay, are you guys listening to that? Someone needs to get on
Who
that
wants
right
to
away.
do that?
Nicole, what do you think?
Well, I definitely think something along the lines of pattern making would be super helpful, but nobody seemed to figure out that technology yet. I'd love to be able to, draw a little sketch on my iPhone or iPad and just, push a button and have the pattern pieces show up and print them out. So that'd be fabulous.
Maybe an app to just design for us. Deborah, what do you think?
Obviously something that's not going to take away from doing my job. Something that's going to add to it, so it doesn't put designers out of work, because we would like to continue being designers. I'd love to have something on color. I think we do a lot of work in color, but there doesn't seem to be an app that links what we're putting on paper to the way it's printed out. So somehow maybe linking Pantone into the app, so actually the printouts are realistic of what we're trying to achieve.
How important is it to be everywhere? I mean, there's a million places to be. I mean, God forbid we have to start Google Plus pages. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm putting my head in the sand personally. But I think, it's like every brand is different, and you can't sort of be, just like with customers, you can't be everything to everyone. And it's really about analyzing where you're putting your content. And as an example, and especially because David Karp spoke today, we had Donna's Journal on DonnaKaran.com for a while since we launched e-commerce. And it was sort of, if you're going on DonnaKaran.com, you might come across it and you might be interested to look at it. But it's not necessarily where people are. So, for example, we just decided to move it this week to Tumblr, which, you know, is now a place that I think we all are in and love being in. And, you know, it's where people are. So where do you put your content? Where do you feel it's most important to be, Stacey?
I think every brand today needs to be on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Pinterest, and the current obsession in my office is the fancy. But, you know, and you've got to be in all these places, but what we're trying to do is almost think of each of these, you know, sites or blogs or apps as sort of like a department store, and you have a storefront in each one, and you've got to fill it with different content and different information and different images so that, you know, because a lot of the customers and a lot of people that are looking at all this are looking at multiple platforms, you know, you've got to make it interesting and appealing to them on each one. Mm-hmm. So I think it's about, you know, sort of reaching with the right content in the right places.
If your brand was stuck on a desert island and you could bring one platform or app to represent your brand, who would it be? What is your tech weapon of choice? You get one.
For us, I think it would be Instagram, because it's visual, but also you can put a little bit of text in there, but it's instant. It sort of tells that message instantly.
Yeah, Instagram, except Facebook brings us the most sales. So if I'm on the desert island thinking about sales, it'll be Facebook.
That's very important. That and your cocktail.
Instagram, I mean, it's like, you know, it's that thing where every moment you have free, you're just like, oh, let me look at Instagram. But I just wish that you could also click and shop.
And see, for me, it's Twitter. I couldn't survive without Twitter. Social started with words and status updates, but as we advance, I think we're all seeing a lot more video content. How important is video to you?
We love doing videos at Alice and Olivia. We do them for our partners like Net-a-Porter and Shopbop, and we do them for our own site. And it's just fun. It's this totally dynamic, you know, new creative, you know, mechanism to show your product. So we have a lot of fun with them.
And also that they live on YouTube forever. So, you know, we could put them up on our website, and then afterwards, you know, they're always on YouTube. And I see these things just keep getting hits, and they just have a lot of longevity.
Yeah, we do them all the time. We do them everywhere we go. Everything we do, we now think about what we can do as a video. So whether it's at our recent ad campaign, we will be doing a video at the end of it, which brings the story to life. A little video that we did last year at Kate Spade, New York, became our TV advertising campaign in Japan, which suddenly sort of had sort of 6 million sort of viewers. So these things can go an awful long way. Things that started very small as girls playing musical chairs become a sort of a huge hit. So it's so important. It's so nice to be able to tell the brand story. And like Nicole said, it stays around forever on YouTube.
But isn't it so sad when they're like 200 views and it's been like a year? You're like, okay, that one really wasn't good. Crowdsourcing. There's been a lot of crowdsourcing, obviously, in sort of lower tier brands, but certainly it's peeking its head in luxury as well. Do you think it's good or bad for design? Do you feel that, you know, obviously as designers and creative directors, you guys are the source of all of that. So are you for giving that say to the customer, or do you feel like it enhances it, or do you feel that it's sort of out of their domain?
We don't do it. I mean, I kind of feel like as a designer, it's your job to design. And I guess, you know, we always kind of listen to feedback, but we're not really into crowdsourcing.
I think it's more about engaging the customer, and it's not really that they're going to help you design, but you might give a project where they like one color better than the other. I mean, I think it's just to keep them interested. And I think they always like the interactive quality of the crowdsourcing thing, so they feel like they're participating, even if they're not really like designing something for you. They feel like they've had a voice in it.
I have to say I'm not a great fan of it. Again, being a designer, someone said to me this morning, which I thought was summed up my feelings. What's a camel? And I was like, what do you mean, what's a camel? He said, it's a horse designed by consortium. So, I mean, and that's sometimes what happened. But yes, you know, it's great to get some feedback. Sometimes I like to get the feedback on Facebook, particularly if you've got something that's sold really well in the past, and you want to keep it going, and you have a huge investment into that product. It's nice to get a point of view on whether that's going to be successful going forward. But as for sort of fresh, new designs, you want to surprise and delight. You don't want to sort of lay everything out there and everybody gets to design. Already in our jobs, there's so many other voices that it's nice to have clarity of vision on some things.
That's a good point. As far as philanthropy, do you feel that it's important to have a philanthropic component to your sales? Do you feel that technology plays a role in that? Is that something that's important to your business?
Well, I think in terms of philanthropy, we've just found that all sort of social media outlets have been really helpful in just generating awareness and, you know, sort of money if we're doing something in that direction. I mean, the buzz and the, you know, sort of reaction you can get from using it is incredibly helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, last year I did a project with some women's cooperatives in Rwanda. It was called Indigo Africa. And it started out being, you know, just, you know, event that was going to be in our retail store, and we were going to offer it online or whatever. But just because it was on the web and everything, it ended up having legs. And it's now been like almost 2 years that we've now been working with this women's cooperative, making, you know, a variety of products. And the whole product line just expanded because it got such a great response. And so I think it's really, really helped this organization, and it helped us promote the whole idea. But I never really felt it would have, you know, such a long life. And it's great because you know, I ended up going to Rwanda, and I met the women, and so it was really interesting, and it was great to be able to help them. And I'm glad that it's a business that had legs, that was ongoing, and I would probably never have been as successful at it if it wasn't for, you know, all the web and the social media promoting it.
I mean, it's been extremely important to us at Kate Spade New York. We have a big partnership with Women for Women, our hand-in-hand program. So wherever we've been, I've also was in Rwanda, I was in Bosnia, we've been in Afghanistan working with women there. So it enabled us to actually explain the nature of our program, because there's often a lot of misconceptions when you're working with charitable organizations, and ours was a brand new setup that wasn't just about signing a check. It was actually working hand in hand with these women, giving them a fair wage and helping get them on their feet, so we could actually tell that story very well. And for this spring, we gave Gilt the exclusive to our products for a day on the Gilt site, and we had a video that we created to go with that could really help tell the story. So it's been huge for us, and it's something that we are constantly ongoing online with all of the work that we do with our hand-in-hand program.
Do you have a favorite person that you follow, or a favorite brand, or a favorite site that you follow on Twitter?
Well, it changes all the time, but this week I'm like really into Lena Dunham from the HBO show Girls.
Sure.
Oh my God, she's so funny. Everyone should follow her.
Well, I follow Jay McInerney because I'm kind of a foodie, and I always like his comments about food and wine.
Brad Gretzky, I always like to know what he's up to when he's not with me, so I like to see what's going on. And of course, I love what you do.
Oh, thanks, Deborah. Brad, actually, we once lent him a dress for a fitting for Kerry Washington, and he sent me the picture, and he was like, I was like, how's it fitting? He's like, it went amazing. Here's the photo, and it's him in the dress.
Exactly what I mean.
And of course, I'm like, are you stretching out my sample? He's like, honey, I'm smaller than most of those girls. He's amazing. I mean, he's perfect for you guys. Perfect.
Genius.
Perfect. Personally, iPhone or BlackBerry?
iPhone.
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 I'm the only one who's bi. Wow. Okay, Pinterest or Tumblr?
Tumblr.
Tumblr.
Pinterest.
Ooh, bi. Okay. Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter.
Twitter.
Facebook.
Twitter. Okay. Best way to reach you. Where will you respond the fastest?
I think the only way I'll respond if it's email. I don't even think I have voicemail, to be honest.
Text.
My assistant, Susie.
That's amazing. You're out to dinner with your significant other. Is your device on the table or off?
What about like hidden under the table?
Okay, It's hidden under the table. Do you take it out? Do you check it?
Well,
A little bit? Maybe if it flashes?
Just a little, like, sneak peek.
I think we're all sneaking them. It's such a no-no. It's an absolute no-no, but, you know, we all cheat, right?
Yeah, I mean, it should be off the table, but I know he's sneaking a peek at it. But the worst thing is when I've hosted blogger dinners, you look around the room and you've done all of this work with the decor and everything, and then you look around and there's no actual conversation happening. Everybody is tweeting each other around the table, even though they're sitting next to each other. It's like, is anybody going to look up and talk to each other again?
I think we should throw like a silent dinner party where like everyone just has to tweet.
Well, there's an installation of art at the moment that is that. It's a table with 2 iPads at either end, so they're having this sort of virtual dinner.
I could do that. It's addictive. Do you ever think about the usage issues with Pinterest? Do you guys ever think about like what's going to come out? I mean, Pinterest has been a little bit in the press about usage, and you think about back in the day when you used to want, you know, if there was a page in a magazine and you wanted to use that image, you would have to go to the photographer, you'd have to go to the model, you'd have to get the rights. And now it's like seems that on Pinterest especially, it is the Wild West. I mean, anyone, I mean, not us necessarily, but the normal user can pin whatever they want. So as a brand, is that something that you think about?
I mean, I guess as an industry, I mean, we have to be sensitive to, you know, what things we're allowed to use and what things we're not. I think we just make all the effort we can to kind of give credit when we feel like it's necessary to do so, but.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned. I mean, if people use our stuff, then that's good for us, actually. So, but I mean, things get more and more complex, and so who knows? Somebody's going to want to be paid for the rights to something at some point, and it's going to make it more complicated.
But, sorry. Oh, I was just going to say, most people are happy when you use the images. I mean, I don't think we've ever had an instance where someone's been like upset about us.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so too, but I mean, it has been covered in the press as something that is, you know, starting to be an interesting topic. So just curious. Deborah, do you have thoughts?
I mean, we always credit where credit is absolutely due, but as designers, we've all had Swipe for years and pulled those things, and this is just a visual scrapbook. It's just online instead of, but shared with a lot of people versus just on your wall at home or something. But it's something we've been doing for a long time, but it's giving credit. It's great advertising for those people you're picking up as well. So I think it's a little bit of a two-way street, but I think everything's out there anyway, so you have to sort of learn to maybe not be so precious.
Okay, so I think that concludes our panel for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming.